Hi, today I would like to emphasize or actually explain the main 10 reasons why you should apply the host innovation tool in your organization or any work environment today. Well, before I start off, this is actually one of the sessions I provided in Delhi at Google last April, out of the top of my head, 2015. And yeah, I have a really good vibe about this picture because what was so stunning for me that, of course, I was pretty proud that I could provide this session at Google and a little bit excited. But what really surprised me is that while I was facilitating the session, it was not corporate talk at all, or money talk. What came out of the session were topics as life work balance and even about working in a meaningful way besides Google in terms of projects, helping your sister start their own jewelry shop, for example, or starting your own business, or get back to your hobby, writing a book, for example. So it really was surprising for me that we came into those fields of talk, and not so much about how to improve your skills at work, or well, there might be a lot of KPIs concerning that. So I found it really interesting, and I also surprised myself, my own biasness, that again, in every organization there's people, and they also want to provide something for themselves as well as for the company. Not It's not a one-way street. So anyhow, a little bit of background about this session in Delhi. I was in India there. I've also provided sessions at several universities, and also for the board of the school, the management team, so they could pick up the skills, the tool set. But again, 10 reasons why you should apply this today in your organization or in your work environment. Well, this sounds pretty broad. Everyone benefits, and I think the main entrepreneurial guru will shoot me right now by saying everyone is the target audience of Host Transform, which is not the case. But we came to the conclusion that really everyone that is involved in terms of providing the session or organizing it benefits. So, for example, when practitioners facilitate a session in their organization, then it's them, they benefit from it because they obtain the skills, new facilitation skills that unlock potential in 20 minutes, which is really valuable, which you could apply everywhere. And of course, the participants benefit from it because they feel more energized, they feel connected, they feel that they have obtained new knowledge, networks, and skills, new ideas, etc. And but also the organization benefits from it because if you have personnel that is uh, is tapping into their full potential, or is flourishing, I should say, um, yeah, that's of course that's that's the most beneficial thing you can have as an organization, that you actually unlock the potential, what's already there, instead of searching for external parties like consultants, or all the more expensive solutions that often crosses the minds of organizations when there's a reorganization or something. um, but we came to 4 target audiences that approach us a lot and seem to benefit from it mostly. And that are executors, so the formal leaders of organizations, directors, managers, team leaders. I might forget something, CEOs. Um, because they simply do not have the time anymore, or they don't have the interest, I hope, to micromanage people to connect and to perform and to develop and to feel at ease, etc., etc. There's often really little time. And the executor, of course, needs to focus on their main priority, and that might develop and pivot the organizations as much as they can to the fast changing world outside, getting new partnerships, pivot strategies, visions, and make sure that everyone aligns, etc., etc. So for them, it's really beneficial if there's multiple people in the organization, the innovators, the front runners, as we call them, that actually are part of that, that take a role in that organization transition or transformation. And you can involve them by obtaining the host's innovation toolkit. They can provide, the leaders or directors can provide sessions themselves, which is really powerful in the boardroom or when they meet new clients. But they can also delegate it to various, well, uh, the various people in the organization that can be a linking pin between various levels. Okay, I will come to that later on, otherwise it's too much information for now. The second target audience is the the front runners, innovators themselves. Like I've already explained, they can have the position of an informal leader. They can leverage resources and information. They can connect various governance levels and information. So they have a really important position as an informal leader, I say, because formally they might not be a leader, but what they do is maybe even more than leadership itself, because they do not have the position but know how to persuade their environment and influence and stretch their circle of influence, actually, their environment in a positive way. So, for example, at the government, we have some hosted transform practitioners. They do not even wait for the permission of their manager to facilitate these sessions, because they know and they can estimate that this will be really profitable for everyone. So even without the mandate, they continue providing these sessions. I think that's really cool, and that is, whatever you call it, servant leadership or participated leadership or informal leadership. It's, for me, it's hostship, full on. The third target audience is the educators. Nowadays, there's a lot of business schools of social innovation and entrepreneurship that approach me, that want to know more about the toolkit, for the students, but also for their board, for the organization itself, for the employees, because they know and realize that the old ways of working is not resonating anymore with the daily practices reality. So they want to change that, and do this in synchronicity with the lecturers, with the students, and with maybe partners that work with them. So yeah, soon I will give a keynote there in one of the universities in the Netherlands, which is really cool. And yeah, I think I'm really looking forward to get this movement, to unlock the movement, actually, towards a shared learning environment and a safe learning environment that is interactive and more entrepreneurial in the way it is facilitated. Not so much about the content. I'm not saying everyone should become an entrepreneur, but the entrepreneurial attitude definitely can be facilitated through very simple facilitation technique, namely the host toolkit. And the fourth target audience is actually the freelancers. The freelancers, the interim managers, which can be also coaches, trainers, facilitators of all kinds of methods that are in line with creating a safe environment that is supportive for people to perform beyond their own expectations, actually. Um, and this could be people that apply the lean Sigma strategies or Scrum or whatever. So these host toolkits would be really an additional competence instead of something that is a substitute for what they're already good at. So for the freelancers, it's really important that they develop new competences that are actually that that is required by their potential clients, or maybe they can be so visionary that they can already see that those skills are in demand soon. So when they tap into that right now and obtain the host toolkit, innovation toolkit, they can already prepare themselves and offer their service in an advantaged way. So yeah, like I said, the practitioners, the organization, as well as the participants of sessions, provide. Yeah, I get a lot of benefits out of these sessions, as well as Host and Forum as an organization, because we make sure that the social media and online marketing strategy is in line with the organization. But for now, that's too much detail to explain. But we will make sure that we will champion the organizations that have practitioners that facilitate sessions on a regular basis. A fifth actually target audience. Well, it's not really a target audience. We also provide free hosted transform sessions. We call them mixers, because we invite new ventures, founders of new ventures. We invite investors and entrepreneurs, and also our clients, professionals, the front runners from organizations, to have a lunch together. But first, of course, we will facilitate a session so they get to know each other in 20 minutes. And who knows, there's new career opportunities, business opportunities unlocked by that. So yeah, stay tuned if you're not already enrolled in our mailing list. We do provide free sessions, live sessions, where you can actually participate in. Okay, so we're still at number one. Let's see if I can speed up a little bit. I'm super enthusiastic about this topic, so my apologies on forehand. Well, a second reason why you should apply the host toolkit, well, today as soon as possible in your organization, is that it's really simple, it's fast and effective. It's in 20 minutes, like I said, you can already unlock energy, fun, workflow, connectivity, knowledge sharing, and building. And yeah, the unexpected can happen, which is, for example, scaling your team. There's already a new venture that joined sessions and found their investor. There's people that met people from outside, clients, and therefore their meeting went way faster and they came to decisions that were beyond their expectations, simply because they had a different connection with one and the other than if they would not have participated in the session. So having said that, it saves time, energy, and money. I mean, if you connect 20 people in 20 minutes, of course, it takes maybe 2 weeks to actually talk with all the people, to get in the same space, in the same mindset, to feel at ease. You can simply not do that without somebody facilitating that and creating momentum to collide all those capabilities that are in the space, in the work environment at the time. So let me see, it saves energy, money, and it also gains time, money. Well, yeah, another example is that people felt more happy after the sessions, more energized, and they also felt more connected with their purpose. Why do I do what I do? Um, and some of them even could validate their sales pitch they had for potential clients, and by that they knew how to tweak their pitch and what to say and what not to say. So it also had positive influences on their product development or how they presented their product for their potential customers, which of course influences their sales as well. Well, it also unlocks energy, flow, happiness. I've already mentioned that. Purpose. Well, there's days when you work and yeah, you're not really connected with yourself or with your environment. You might feel a little bit lonesome or isolated. It doesn't always need to have a rationale. But I believe that, yeah, we are solidaire people, solidaire creatures, so to speak, and we all want to feel some sense of purpose, that we have impact or something, we can change something, that we are useful, util, and those sessions can definitely attribute to that. The fourth reason why you should apply these skills or tools today is that yeah, I've already illuminated a little bit. You unlock connectivity with various stakeholders within the organization, but also outside the organization. Especially those big organizations, governments and multinationals nowadays are struggling with how to manage their relationships with their clients or new partners, etc. And often there's no one best strategy to do that. You can also let synchronicity jump in and facilitate these sessions that make sure that everyone is at their best. So magic and concrete business results do arise from that. At least you will multiply the chance for success to happen enormously. I haven't measured that yet, but I will one day actually. But it also connects stakeholders, people that you work next to, your coworkers or your team members, or maybe your director or your manager. Normally, you might feel, I don't know, intimidated, or the manager might even feel intimidated towards its staff or insecure. And you get really great conversations and dialogues between those um, people that normally wouldn't see each other so much or have different roles. So simply the relationship will not always benefit from that. So there will be some likability created between people of various positions in organizations, various disciplines, various teams, that is beneficial for everyone. So yeah, edge organizations embrace diversity. I've added that too, because you get your agility gets strained because of these sessions. Um, your judgments, maybe your skepticism sometimes, or fear will be reduced simply by experiencing that you're not the only one with some doubts or need of help or some challenges or questions. And it could be personal questions, but also questions on in the professional field. And that's really powerful. A director the other day was having uncertainties about his director capabilities, and he was discussing that with some staff member, and he actually got advice from a staff member. Well, for me, this is not really like something super extraordinary, but I understand that there's corporate organizations that, yeah, do not have those dialogues between, or do not organize or facilitate those momentums for people to talk like that, or to relate like that, I should say. Or it is like this forced kind of network borrow drink thing, where people talk about the same things all the time. So this is really about connecting from the authentic you, from the intrinsic drive you have, from based on the commonalities you share, which can be fear, and if you, or something beautiful, or something cheerful as well, of course. And that creates the relationship. And everything is relationship. Everything is non-verbal communication and relationship. So if that's true, why do we not focus more on that? So the fifth reason why you should start implementing those sessions in your organizations is that, like I said, it unlocks dialogue between multi-level stakeholders, and that makes decision making and developing a shared vision statement and strategy development. It will definitely encourage that, and make people feel part of it. They formally might not be co-owner of it. You hear that a lot, yeah, co-ownership. That's not always possible. You cannot be a co-owner of a company if you simply are not having part of the share, if you're not shareholder, right? So, but the terminology co-ownership for me is also that you feel involved with the process itself. Um, so the sixth reason why you should implement and benefit from applying this H.O.S.T toolkit is that it bridges and also harvests the stories from the undercurrent, the conversations people have during the coffee breaks, or at the coffee machine, or during cigarette breaks. We all know those informal conversations is where the seeds of decision making is being planted. That's not in the boardroom, or in the conference room, or in the meeting room. So why not facilitating and um, organizing those momentums a little bit more frequently, so people do not feel excluded, or feel that they have to sneaky talk with someone, or yeah, just take the time. They have more, yeah, let's say it like this, it's more legitimated in this way. Everyone gets connected with one and the other, nobody's excluded, and it's all open. So I think that's really a valuable thing of that. It's kind of a healthy cigarette break, as you if you like. The seventh reason is it also unlocks shared workspace, and a safe workspace for people to be open, and to dare to say what's on their mind, or to dare to challenge an opinion, or to think differently, or to leap out of their ways of doing things or approaching things, their patterns that are not always constructive or supportive to the outcome, to their performance, or their limiting beliefs that is not always helping them to perform. So by creating this learning environment that is actually, yeah, on the job life learning environment that makes people develop their competences and their awareness of what they can and what they cannot do, or what they want to do, or to learn, or to adopt in a consistent way. So yeah, imagine if knowledge and skills and networks are shared and created on a frequently basis. What will happen with your organization, or with your team, or in your work environment, or with your class, with your students? I think very yeah, that potential really gets unlocked. I do not have different words for it, actually. Well, it's interesting actually that McKinsey and Company also had a research going on about transformation, and they said that one of the successes is to transformation is to to build new capabilities. And what those capabilities are, you can only eliminate that or discover that through experiential learning. And experiential learning is actually uh, learning through reflection on doing. And that sounds really complex, but it's actually not. You experiment with something and you reflect on that with yourself, or actually it's better to do it with a group so you get more input. And then you improve your outcomes. That's also what Lean Startup says. Get out of the building and validate your assumptions, if they are true or not. Well, that's really focused on building a venture, but you can also apply that in a more daily situation at work, and that is, validate your thoughts, your beliefs about a certain topic or project or about other people. So that's another reason to create and unlock and shared work and learning environment where knowledge and skills and networks are developed and shared every day, if you like. And the eighth reason is that the toolkit also unlocks entrepreneurial mindset. Entrepreneurial mindset, what does it mean? Well, what I mean with is a supportive mindset. There's research is being done and they call it the growth mindset. But yeah, it's really the learn by doing mentality, where you you are allowed to make a mistake and to learn from it, and you feel safe to do that, to look beyond the obvious. And personally, I missed that a lot when I worked in bigger organizations. One day there was a woman even telling me with her finger in front of me, I can still see it, I'm a little bit traumatized. Here we do not make mistakes. And I was like, whoa, you're really harsh. Well, towards me maybe, but maybe more towards yourself. And I saw her, I remember her being stressed walking through the organization, and she had this restlessness with her. And every time she jumped into a room, the atmosphere changed to stress. And I don't know, it was maybe not for everyone because I'm quite sensitive for environments, but I could definitely say she was not contributing to the results and the performance. So, this is something, a supportive mindset is so important to perform in the best way you can. And if you're supportive towards yourself, you can also be that towards others. And you can really get the synergy going instead of focusing on what is not there and what is lacking, and who made what mistake or who was responsible for what. And also the status quo. Yeah, the world is changing so fast. I'm sure I'm not the first person that is telling you this. So I think the status quo of uncertainty is something we should, I guess, try to embrace rather than try to ignore it or to come up with strategies with scenario planning or risk management just to not accept this amount of uncertainty what is there. I'm not saying you should not do scenario planning or risk management, but um, I'm talking about the mindset here. So I think an uncertainty is the status quo, and if that's true, what can you do with that? And to really feel it and to live it. So people in the organization are less easily afraid or disappointed or frustrated, maybe even when something goes wrong or differently than they had expected on forehand. So I'm cheating 8B because I wanted to only have 10 reasons why you should apply the H.O.S.T toolkit today. Well, 8B is about the agile behavior. I've already mentioned it, that the world is changing fast, and agile is a really beautiful terminology that pinpoints that. It's often used in technology, and I think that's also where the terminology is coming from. Often it's referring to software that has to be agile, because if you build software for 10 years and there's a slightly code that's changed, you cannot build the whole thing from scratch. Well, I'm not an IT expert, but this is kind of the way you could describe it, I guess. And I think this is a beautiful metaphor for our behavior. You know, if everything is changing so fast, is there a way that we can adapt to that? And it's even more than being flexible, because being flexible in the moment is that you will turn back to your old status quo. But what I actually refer to is that you stretch, or you bend in a different way. But this is your new way. You might thought you gonna sell world's most beautiful colors, yellow paper, but suddenly they stick on the wall and they are called post-its nowadays, which is a best-selling product. And of course, if you Google now and you will check failures, beautiful failures or brilliant failures, I think all the best inventions came from failing. And yeah, it's kind of uh, yeah, it's kind of, how do you say this, popularized to say it, to say, yeah, you should fail. But I do believe that having a little bit of feel fun instead of feeling that you're dying inside when you make a mistake is the, yeah, is the way we want to go towards, to be more happy in your workspace and productive at the same time. I call it, well, triple C stretch. It's a joke just for people to remember it. So what we do during those sessions, that we stretch your comfort zone, as well as the practitioner that provides the session, as you as the participants. And by that, you will stretch your consciousness about what's going on, about your own fears or own, not even fears. I sound really negative now, but also conscious about your own acts and about how other people think and feel. And that could be happy thoughts as much as touching thoughts, etc. And by this, it's stretching your circle of influence too. Because as a practitioner, you mobilize 20 people, and they all think in a positive way, and they build the new organization, the future of work together. So I think that's kind of stretching your circle of influence. And maybe with that manager you normally don't speak a word with, or you didn't know what he didn't know, or the other way around, or you do not know what you have to know to get to Z, etc., etc. It's all the things we haven't talked about yet that can make a difference. Okay, the ninth reason why you should apply H.O.S.T is, yeah, it scales impact. And we define impact in the categories of meaning, innovation, and margin, because yeah, it's easier like that, because there's so much stuff happening because of those sessions. It's easier to categorize it. That's why we use framing, right? So I'm also the art of stealing in terms of framing. I frame as well. Um, so meaning, innovation, and margin. Meaning is, yeah, unlocking purpose, happiness, sense of belonging, energy, etc. And innovation, and yeah, maybe it's interesting to add to that is that meaning is really an important determinator or factor to create, to actually multiply performance 4 times. If you look at Kim Cameron, you can YouTube him. He did research about how positive environment, or actually positive energy, drives performance. And for me, it's not really rocket science, and not even for him, but it's good that he investigated that. So maybe organizations will listen to that and adapt it easier. I don't know. And innovation, there's also research done about innovation. that actually social innovation is the leverage of technological innovation, and actually the success of that. So social innovation determines 80% of technological success, and technological success on itself only 20%. So again, this demonstrates that the solution, finding the solution or the idea, is not the the outcome, right? You need people to execute. Um, you need people to scale impact, to get the word across. And also in terms of projects, you need people to walk with you and carry that what you're doing. So I think that's really, again, a research that actually has facts by now, because it's all significant data, that social innovation is a leverage of technological innovation. And often we talk about the geeks, the IT geeks that in Silicon Valley that changed the world, but I don't think we should forget about the human aspect of that. And I'm not against techies or technological innovation. I love it, but I'm just saying that, yeah, the social part. Remember, we are solitary creatures. We need each other. We need a habitat. We need networks. We need an ecosystem around us to drive, to feel happy, to be the best selves. So yeah, we definitely need those sessions too, because this is a motor of social innovations, those host sessions. That's why it's also called Host Innovation Toolkit, right? It facilitates innovation. And some people confuse social innovation for products that are sustainable for the environment and the planet and people. But in this case of Host Innovation Toolkit, I really refer to process innovation. So we facilitate processes in a way um, that makes the results profitable for in the levels of meaning, purpose, happiness, people, innovation, making, thinking of solution of complex, of new solutions of complex problems, smart solutions as they call them. So smart solution for complex problems, as they say. And it also generates margin, profit, simply because of that faster way of working with the resources that's already there in the organization in a lean way, with people you get along with. Um, so you will get to better results, and within an ecosystem that suits you, and where you can share your resources, or you feel you're allowed to do that as much as you receive them. So yeah, and again, it's proven by McKinsey and Company that the missing factor of leadership is actually impact measurement. So instead of only talking about how we scale impact, we also have to measure it. And of course, quality data is not always easy to measure as hard facts as sales, revenue streams, etc. But we do measure that. We have lean questionnaires that are really, really lean, so really effective and short, that can measure long-term as well as short-term impact. We will share this information in another video, I guess, how we do that, and also during the trainings, if you're interested in becoming a practitioner, of course. Okay, the final one. Wow, I'm already talking for 40 minutes. Let's see. The 10th reason why you should apply H.O.S.T, and that is beneficial for you as well as your team or your organization, the classroom you work in, your students, your clients, or your peers, or your other stakeholders I forgot to mention, is that it represents and facilitates transformation on multiple levels on a personal level, on a team level, on an organizational level, and even on a societal level. Like I mentioned when I started this, well, you can almost call it a webinar. When I hosted this session at Google, people were not talking about themselves or their team members or their organization. They were talking about contributing to the society. Okay, and they also mentioned the work and private balance, how they could manage that, but also how they could contribute to the society, to have a Google Maps that pinpoints the toilets in rural remoted areas in Nicaragua, for example. Sorry, I was searching for the word. Um, I mean, why not using the technology of Google to illuminate the toilets in remoted areas where that can make a mistake, make a difference between life and death, right? I don't know the details of the project, but the girl that was joining the session was mentioning it, and she got connected with other people in the organization because she was open about it, and that was so cool. So yeah, this also, what I want to emphasize with this number 10 is actually that now transformation is a weird terminology. People mix it with transition. Transition is something that takes longer. Transition is it's like how we make the different distinction between a project and a program, right? A project is short time, a program is long time. Transition is long, and transformation are short momentums where people pick things up and change the way they do things. So because of those sessions, you can actually ask, do you think you made a little transformation after this session or after joining multiple sessions? And people will respond to this. They will give their definition of transformation and what it did with them or the group and their organization, or even how they perceived someone on the streets because of this session, in the bus on the way back home. One practitioner even met another participant on holidays in Bali, how what the spin-off can be of these sessions. So yeah, transformation all starts with unlocking the potential of people. And this is something those sessions demonstrate and represent. And it's not providing a crystal clear solution how to transform everyone and the whole organizations tomorrow, but at least you have a starting point, or maybe not even a starting point, but a reference to talk from. And otherwise, it's beautiful words, vague, nobody resonates with it, nobody has lived it. Well, I'm talking black and white now, but people cannot really grasp it. And this is something you should try to avoid, especially when you're the director of an department where people have to transform, or the organization, and you do not know why or how. Actually, you do know why, but you do not how to do that. So also for organizations that are in a reorganization, this is really important to understand that if people have not experienced change in a safe pace, in a facilitated way, you cannot just change people or yourself. It's even better to be the change because they have to follow you, right? And I think those sessions represented really well, especially when you facilitate a session. You have to be a little bit vulnerable, you have to stretch your comfort zone to get those people out of their comfort zone. So that already makes you a servant leader in a sense. So you will get more understanding out of a group by that. Okay, as you can see, I'm really enthusiastic about this topic. I might do this video again, but way shorter. If you're still listening, thank you very much. I hope it was interesting. If you have questions, do not hesitate to email us on connect.host2transform.com and adopt the free Host Innovation Toolkit via host2transform.com, so you can already experiment with it in your own workspace. How cool is that? So make sure you leave your email, and we will send you some sessions for you to experiment with that. Okay, have a great day, agile day, and speak with you soon. Bye bye.